to really care about the patients in a different way. People feel that when they come in here, and you don't get that with conventional medicine, because conventional medicine, take it or leave it if you want to believe this, it's the truth, is quota based, right? They have to hit a certain number of visits a week to get paid by the insurance companies and the pharmaceutical industry. They have to prescribe a certain number of medicines, vaccines, whatever it is. They have to hit numbers. Whereas we don't deal with insurance companies. We don't deal with these entities telling us how to help people. We just help people. And like, so the only entity I want to know how to help is the person in front of me with the pain or dysfunction that's ruining their life. And
right. Welcome to Health Decoded, your number one source for real health information, with your hosts, Dr. Alessi and Matt Tack.
Hey, Health Decoded listeners, Dr. Alessi here. Let me ask you a serious question. Are you tired of waiting until something goes wrong to finally see a doctor? At Alessi Functional Health, we take a different approach, the right approach. We believe true healthcare isn't about chasing symptoms. It's about preventing them in the first place. That's why we created the Alessi Total Care Program. This is a functional medicine-based membership that gives you proactive, personalized care year-round. You'll get access to comprehensive blood work and functional testing, custom doctor-grade nutraceuticals, deep discounts on labs, protocols, and follow-ups, as well as 24/7 direct access to your doctor. Not just a 10-minute checkup that ends with another prescription. And here's the best part. As a Health Decoded listener, you'll get your first 3 months completely free when you sign up for an annual membership. That's on top of hundreds in savings already built into the program. This is your chance to take responsibility for your health and join a movement that's redefining what primary care should look like. Head on over to alessifunctionalhealth.com, click on our services tab, and go to Total Care. Learn more about this program and claim your exclusive podcast listener offer. Your health is your greatest asset. Let's protect it proactively. What's up? Dr. Alessi here. I'm here with Dr. West, Dr. Carter West. Awesome, man. Well, hey, this is a cool concept we have here for a show where we both attended the same chiropractic college. I was there 2016 to 2019, right? So we'll say that, like 6 years ahead of yourself. Yeah. You just graduating and being a doc now. So, the shift, and we kind of wanted to talk a little bit. I just wanted to kind of pick your brain a little bit on like the differences, right? What your experiences were versus what mine is. And there's a cool thing that I learned while I was in school. It was a doc that I used to shadow with, man. And he gave me this kind of analogy where he drew like a really small circle on a screen. And he was like, this is what they teach you in school. Then he drew a bigger circle and he was like, this is what we can practice once we're out of school.
Yeah.
And then he basically was like, the rest of the page is what's out there, right? What's available for people. And it's like, I experienced that myself, like just in the last month, traveling out of the country and getting different types of therapies with stem cells and things that there's just so many regulations, man. So I know we practice in a similar way kind of, but you also do some other things in your family's clinic. Tell me a little bit about kind of where your trajectory is, because you're a doc, but you're going to get a dual degree essentially. So talk about that, man.
Yeah. I might preface it with a little bit more background if that's all right.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So I'm graduating with my Doctor of Chiropractic in December, but the reason why I chose National, where Dr. Alessi and I went to school, is because they offer a dual degree. So the second degree would be as a naturopathic physician. And where I'm from Idaho. And there's a few doctors out there that are duly licensed. So a broader scope offers broader techniques and a broader audience of people that you can help and serve.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm doing it. But yeah, so when it comes to the family thing that Dr. Alessi talked about, so I'm a 5th generation chiropractor. My family has been practicing chiropractic and natural medicine in Southeast Idaho for about 110 years. Starting in January, it'll be 110 years. So I love this profession. I grew up in the field, saw a lot of things, and there was a lot of things that I really liked about what Dr. Alessi's doing in his clinic that made me say, like, hey, I want to learn as much I can from this guy. I don't want to just come across as like, oh, hey, I already grew up in this and, like there's nothing else. Like, no, I want to be open. I want to learn too,
Yeah,
like
for
there's
sure.
a lot of things that people have to offer despite your familiarity.
Yeah, and the cool thing, man, is like I've been learning stuff from you as well, right? Like, just because I've been doing it for 6 years doesn't mean I know everything. So I love that. And that's the thing I see from a lot of patients is that ego is so big in medicine,
Yeah.
particularly Western medicine, right? Like, and if you can empathize with this, I urge people to just look outside the box a little bit and maybe just start to question the normal, right? A little bit. And, being normal, is that what people want
Yeah.
ultimately, is to be normal? So it's like, or do we want to
Yeah.
be like performing at a high level and
Mhm.
enjoying the best of our life, right? Whether it's performing in physical activities or just life stuff with your family, right? You want to
Yeah.
be able to
Yeah. Yeah.
live a healthy and good life. So, yeah, you guys do some really cool things in your clinic with the EBU and the ozone therapies and the IVs, which is something that we're expanding into down here, but is by no means like where we started. I started as a chiropractor. I was like correcting spines. That was all I did. Then I branched more into healing discs and neuropathy, right? And kind of went
Yeah.
that route with the decompression. Then we started just, how do we optimize, right? We got the
Yeah.
soft wave regeneration therapy. Then we started bringing in the blood work and the functional medicine. We're
Yeah.
healing people's guts. We're um, balancing hormones. We're bringing on hormone therapy and peptides, and just like the evolution of it. The biggest difference I see, man, is I knew nothing about peptides. I knew nothing about all this stuff when I was in school.
Mhm.
And now it's just so much more mainstream, right? Even
Yeah.
within 5 years, like the difference that's gone out there on social media and just in general,
Mhm.
docs like branching out. So, I guess tell me a little bit about your experience going through chiropractic school, being a fifth gen chiro. Like you have all this background, whereas a lot of students like myself, I was a personal trainer, right? And so
Yeah.
like I went a route, but I didn't have that
Yeah.
similar background. I had never been adjusted. So
Yeah. Great question. So it was a bit of a culture shock. So, like I said, I grew up in a chiropractic office and we do a lot of naturopathic treatments, wellness. And I thought I knew what chiropractic was. I got into school and I was like, where's all the cool stuff? Where's all the IVs? Where's all the
yeah,
ozone? Where's all the peptides and the stem cells? And it was like not even really talked about. And so I loved how you talked about your coming up as a chiropractor and trying to evolve your practice into other things, because that's actually what we've been doing. So
mhm,
kind of how we started, cool story. So Pocatello, Idaho was a main railroad hub for Union Pacific Railroad. And coupling train cars back in the day was a very violent process where the conductors and the train workers would be in the middle of the train cars. And when they coupled them, they'd be inside to try and facilitate that process.
no,
And it would just come just like that, right? And they would get whiplash. So we would call that railroad spine. It was the equivalent of getting into a car accident.
yeah,
And, this is what people are doing. So they would funnel into our clinic to get chiropractic care. And then my grandpa and my dad, they evolved a little bit to cater to more needs. A lot of times there were needs within our family
mm,
that we needed to evolve to be able to meet. And then we ended up helping other people out with that.
always, yeah,
So
yeah,
I really liked how you shared about that, because chiropractic is such an important part for helping people to utilize wellness and to heal naturally. But there's other things that we can use that, hey, we can evolve in that way. So love
yeah.
what you shared there.
And again, it's like being able to do what we can within the confines of regulations and
Yeah.
license and government and stuff. And it's different across different states. So, you guys have different
Yeah.
access in Idaho versus what we can do here in Florida.
Yeah.
But I know stuff always changes. So it's like
Yeah.
from year to year, constantly changing. But um, integrating is what we call it, right? I became an integrative health practitioner. I got
Hmm.
a certification from this at level 2. It's called, basically going through the process of like, how do we integrate things from chiropractic, functional medicine, Ayurvedic medicine,
Yeah.
holistic, approaches, physical approaches,
Yeah.
lifestyle medicine, which is something we practice, and using all those things to enhance the outcomes for a person. And then again, I think you and I are the same in that, like,
Hmm.
I don't want to be the the forever manager of someone's health. I want to,
Yeah.
help them fix a problem, guide them, but it's ultimately giving them the power, like empowering them to take responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, like learn all this stuff. And then now you just do it. And then even better, now your family's healthier because you know how to make these decisions, right? And that's the impact. That's the ripple effect that we see. So, I love when I hear stories of like, not only somebody like, oh yeah, I got better through your program, but oh man, like I cut out all the processed dyes and foods for my kids, and now my kids actually sleep better. Or they're performing better in school. Like those are the cool things, man. So yeah, it's awesome. And again, going through school, I almost went to the same program that you're doing with the dual degree naturopathic. I just decided not to pursue that piece. Looking back, like that would have, I kind of ended up going that route more like functional med. So it kind of would have fit me. I actually almost feel like I would have fit that more than the Chiro piece, but
Same year.
yeah. So you're going to be starting that here, what, next year?
Yeah, January. That's the plan.
Awesome, man. That's up in
I'm
Illinois.
doing some online naturopathic courses right now. So
cool. Heck yeah, man. Do you know much about the program? I didn't, I can't say I like delved much into what it is. I know it's a lot of homeopathy and obviously herbals, and they teach you all the foundation of that kind of stuff. But talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so good question. I definitely want more training with blood work. I actually get really excited, and that's something that Dr. Alessi does here. And I love being able to see the different patterns. And that's actually kind of something that makes sense to me with naturopathic. I've had friends who are like, what is that even, right? So I've looked it up with Idaho and Florida law that, a chiropractor or chiropractic physician is someone that is able to manage, treat, and diagnose conditions of the human body. If that doesn't sound like a doctor, I don't know what is, right?
As a doctor.
But the thing is in healthcare, we do so with a different scope. So with allopaths, they do so with an emphasis on, medications and surgery and some advanced treatments. Osteopaths have their thing. Chiropractic, we do so with an interest on the brain and its relationship with all the tissues in our body. We're kind of like electricians. How do we enhance the communication to all of our tissues? Naturopaths kind of do that more so with emphasis on blood work. So when we look at blood work, we want to highlight the things that are outside of the clinical reference range. We want to fix those. But something that my dad taught me to look into deeper is, can you find the patterns? Can you see if it's on the higher end? It still is in the normal range, but could this be preventable, right? So that's one thing that I like about it is, chiropractic, we look at x-rays to assess for mechanical dysfunctions. And then there's also another side where you have a systemic chemical issues, and I would like to address those too. So that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to enhance my training after chiropractic school.
Yeah. The analogy, like I use car analogies all the time because everyone drives a car, it makes sense. But the analogy is like, if your car is leaning to the side and the tires on that side are wearing out, the brake pads, the gears are all wearing out, conventional medicine replaces the tires, greases up the gears and the brakes, maybe gives you new brake pads, right? Chiropractic or functional medicine fixes the alignment so that doesn't keep happening. And then we take it a step further maybe and say, hey, like, are you parking your car every night with the wheel turned to the side so that your alignment's just naturally being pulled off? Like we go even that much further where it's like, what things are you doing on your daily life that are making you stressed, that are then leading to your gut being off, that are then leading to your hormone dysfunction, right? You have to dig so deep. You can't just myopically be like, oh, here's some Prilosec for your gut, right? It's like you have to go deep, deep, deep. We talk about the dig, right? Like when we're going through our process of finding out from a patient number one, what's going on, but like, why is this important for you to take action and fix now? You have to dig, man. You have to ask questions, because when someone can emotionally connect to their pain or their dysfunction, people take action. And so, my patients all are very much familiar with that concept because we talk about it. It's like, if you don't have a driving reason behind why you're going to fix something, most people will fall off. Right. You start a gym workout routine, you start working with a trainer, and the only reason was because you just wanted to feel a little bit better. As soon as you start feeling better, you're probably going to stop. But if the reason was because like you wanted to lose weight because it's affecting your marriage or it's affecting your ability to be present with your family, like that's a deep driving reason. People are going to stick with that kind of thing longer. So I think many people fear connecting to that emotion.
Mhm.
And so when you fear it, you're going to run from it, or you're going to avoid the tough decision of taking action. But if
Yeah.
we can connect with it by exposing that fear, right, you break it. And then it's ultimately like, hey, like, what does it take now to correct this problem?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that idea with restore. Restore meaning to take something back to its original form. Uh, uh, cutting out the family time with the pain that you're having. That's the thing that I want to do in my profession, and that's something that I've noticed you do too in your patient interactions. Is what did you lose? Can you not take a walk with your loved one, with your spouse? Can you not throw a football with your grandson? Like you're an avid basketball player, lacrosse player, whatever sport. And like, are you being robbed of that?
Yeah.
I want to help restore people to that.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that in your patient interactions. It's awesome when they do get out of that pain.
Yeah, that's the feedback we get that I think we do really well. And it's not just me. I'm not going to just like say, oh, it's all me. It's my team, right? We're
Right.
trained. They're all trained on that to ask those questions, and to really care about the patients in a different way. People feel that when they come in here, and you don't get that with conventional medicine, because conventional medicine, take it or leave it if you want to believe this, it's the truth, is quota based, right? They have to hit a certain number of visits a week to get paid by the insurance companies and the pharmaceutical industry. They have to prescribe a certain number of medicines, vaccines, whatever it is. They have to hit numbers. Whereas we don't deal with insurance companies. We don't deal with these entities telling us how to help people. We just help people. And like, so the only entity I want to know how to help is the person in front of me with the pain or dysfunction that's ruining their life. And
Right.
it's rewarding, man. Like there's days, obviously there's tough days and long days in this industry where, we're going through, you got to do all the business stuff, right? You got to keep the lights on. And so you get kind of worn out, but then you have that moment of someone coming in and just spilling their, like, they're crying because this is the first time they were able to, go perform some type of physical activity with their wife or with their child or with someone they love. And like, it's just amazing, man. It's why we do it. So.
Yeah. One thing that I kind of wanted to highlight is how I came across Dr. Alessi and why I'm so interested in coming here as an intern. So he did a little outreach with our school where he came in and he just offered and said like, "Hey, I'm here for you guys," and I really appreciate that. Where um, there's other outreach stuff that I've seen you do on social media. So he's really out there in the community and giving back and trying to mentor. And so that's why I sought him. And I really appreciated how he carried himself and what he was passionate about. One of the reasons why I really enjoy chiropractic is I like the lifestyle stuff. I enjoy doing yoga, working out, working on my nutrition, because I can't imagine giving advice to patients if I'm not doing it myself. And I just saw that with Dr. Alessi and I was like, okay, like he's obviously living it. Like it's one thing to do it because it's your job, but then it's one thing to live it.
For sure.
So yeah, like, and in doing this, I kind of wanted to ask you about some of like your favorite uh lifestyle tips, stuff that you personally prioritize.
Yeah, I'd say the thing, if I had to like hone in on like the thing that changed my life the most, man,
Yeah,
is going to be a little bit different than even this conversation, but it's definitely mental health work, right? Like, full transparency, early on in my career as a chiropractor, I almost burned out and quit because I was working for a doc or a clinic of docs, and I was just kind of being run through, right? It was very much like I was a treating doc, just treating 60, 70 patients a day sometimes with long hours, at the same time as having newborn twins at home who didn't sleep for more than 30 freaking minutes at a time. It was just a lot, right? And so like balancing, I didn't at the time have the tools to balance or manage that, right? That level of stress. I do now because I know how my body feels, right? Like I can track on my wrist, oh, my HRV is getting a bit low. My body's not recovering. What's going on? Am I stressed?
That too.
Yeah. Am I going to be sick next week? I can kind of tell when things are coming on. I haven't been sick in say 4 years or more, because as soon as I start noticing those trends or I can tell, I just get ahead of it and I start doing the stuff, right? Taking the bone broths and the honeys and all the good immune boosters and garlic, right?
Yeah.
And so I start every morning, I do a spoonful of Manuka honey, like the high grade Manuka honey. Man, I credit that. I give it to my kids too, right? And so it's like it's like a little morning thing. It's like honey time, and boom, boom, we just eat the honey. And again, it's getting ahead of it. And that's the other thing is that we're doing is we're not just getting people out of pain or curing diseases or restoring people to health, but we're helping them prevent further things down the line too. So I think people are so used to waiting until something's wrong. You wait until your check engine light's off to go to the mechanic. You wait until you bald tires to get new ones. Like getting ahead of it saves you money and time down the line because things just cost more later, right? You defer maintenance on your car, it's going to be more the next time. You defer maintenance on your body, you better believe it's going to be more, not just financially, but emotionally, physically, and mentally on everyone. So, I mean, the other things are like prioritizing my fitness level, strength training 3, if not 4 days a week, steps, always making sure, I mean, in here, there's no shortage of getting steps, walking around, treating patients.
He's that busy. You know?
Yeah. And then, like nutrition is huge. I'm a big fan of like the fundamentals, man, like dial in the fundamentals to a T, because if not, then the other stuff is wasted. Yeah. I know the peptides are cool. Yeah. I know the supplements and all that stuff is cool and it's exciting, right? The performance enhancers. But if your diet's not in check and you're not sleeping well and you're not training appropriately or moving your body, like none of that stuff's going to do anything for you, right? Like the people who think they can just go take steroids and they're going to get jacked. Not if you don't lift weights. Like it doesn't work that way, right? It doesn't just like blow you up. So you got to have that. And then, getting in like the cool stuff, obviously, like I did invest in this mattress cover, the 8-pod. Yeah. I don't know if you've heard of that one.
Not yet.
Oh my God, dude, that might've been the best investment I've made in the last 5 years. It is a cover, like a layer that goes over your bed. Yeah. And it's attached to a hub that is filled with water. And so at night at 8:30, it starts pumping cold water through the coils in the cover so that when I get in bed at 9:30, it is cold and I am able to fall asleep like that. I sleep through the entire night. I don't wake up. And then in the morning, rather than like an alarm, like spiking cortisol, the bed just like slowly starts warming up and you just wake up because it's warming you up. Right. And it takes you out of like deep into light sleep. Wow. And then if the warmth doesn't wake me up by the time I need to be up, it starts gently vibrating and pulsing. And so like I wake up very like chill, not like most people wake up to an alarm and it's very abrupt and like, catches you out of whatever stage of sleep you're in. So if I could give you a piece of advice or give someone a piece of advice that will change your life today, is investing in something that can track your sleep and wake you up at the right time. Oh, so like, for example, if you're in a deep sleep cycle and you're dreaming and then your alarm goes off, how crappy do you feel? You feel groggy, right? Versus when you're in a lighter sleep and you wake up, you kind of just naturally wake up and you're like, man, I feel ready. Like I'm going to get up. And so like there's these wearables or the bed cover does it too, where it can sense your heart rate and your breathing rate and knows what stage of sleep you're in. And it wakes you up at that time, even if it's 10 or 15 minutes before your alarm. Yeah. But at least you're waking up in a more like ready to go state than like going back into a deep sleep cycle and waking up then and feeling lousy. So it's pretty sweet, man. I'm all a big fan of that. I think sleep is like maybe the most important thing.
Yeah, I think so. And no, thanks for that. Cause that's something I struggle with. That's why I got a Whoop, is just so that way I have a better idea of like what I'm doing with sleep, and sleep hygiene is something I can always work on. Something that I loved about what you shared with your kids when you did honey time, your kids are going to remember that, you know, and you're doing a healthy hack for them. So quick story, when my grandpa was still around and my dad was starting practice, you know how like when you go into a dentist's office or whatever, they'll just hand you candy or whatever. It's like, hey, thanks for coming in. It was really cool. Like when I would go in and be like, hey, grandpa, like he had these vitamin C chewables, like, and it was like his own brand that he was selling. That's cool. I guess the best way I can describe it is like those nerds sweet tarts.
Yeah, like
Smartie. It was like tangy tart, but it was vitamin C. And he would just say, here's some candy, And so he was like psychologically helping us to be healthier in that way. So it felt really sentimental when you said like, oh, I got the best honey here and I'm helping my kids getting their sweet tooth, because what kid doesn't have sweet tooth? No,
and it tastes really good. Yeah.
So there's a bit of that too. So thanks for sharing on that.
Yeah, man. And that's the balance piece too, right? The reason I operate the way I do in my business, and like I've built a team, right? And this is more so talking to providers now than so much of like patient based, but even people who work jobs need to kind of be aware of like the sacrifice of time. And like to me, time is worth more than anything. So like when time gets disrupted for me, that's a big deal, because it's like you don't get that back, right? I can go make more money, I can go buy more stuff, but like time doesn't come back, right? And so missing time with my kids is just a priority. So like I make sure I schedule my days in a way that I can wrap work when work's done. And then when I'm with the boys, right? And I'm not on the computer while they're just, doing whatever. Like I'm with them for that time. We have dinner together, they go to bed, and then I can do more work if I need to, which tends to be often. But, again, man, like that's priorities. So like, that's my priority, and everyone's is different, right? You don't have children. So like right now is the time to like, hustle, grind, get that bag, right? As they say, so like do your thing, man. And cause then, one day if that changes, like then your priorities have to change. And like, I'm not like the best parent in the world. I can't claim that, but like I care. Right. So yeah. I know that was a little different trajectory than this, but I like this conversation because it's kind of, we're going all over the place.
Yeah. Okay. So sleep, that's one of your best hacks ever that you swear by, and you're like, this is what's worked for me.
That's just such a low hanging fruit to make such a big impact. You optimize your sleep, you're going to perform better during the day. You're going to recover better. Everything's better. So
I want to add on to the sleep thing. So something that's really helped me out with my sleep. And if someone were to say, hey, Carter, what's your favorite biohack of all time? Putting tape over my mouth when I sleep at night.
Yeah.
So I've read literature all about, nasal breathing, and there's ways that, chiropractic can even help out with, with a lot of that stuff. But yes, I've noticed that it helps me out because the nose is like a muscle. You go to the gym, you either use it or you lose it.
Yeah.
I felt like that's helped me out in my sleep, but now I need to get one of those pads so that way, because my room does get a little bit warm, and I would definitely benefit from a temperature change.
Oh man. Yeah. Before I had it, I would wake up like sweaty all the time, right? I'm just normally warm, I guess, like naturally warm.
I hate it
like
when that happens.
Yeah, it's the worst. And so I haven't ever had that since. And again, I sleep really well. I do like the mouth tape too. I've always struggled. Like you got to get me on the one. It just doesn't stick to my facial hair. And so that's always the
I have facial hair too.
Yeah.
I just like to do the KT tape. The one that I got that was specifically for the mouth, it just doesn't stay on, and it's just not big enough. I don't know if I have like a big mouth or anything like that, but actually we were talking about this a while ago, what you were doing for lacrosse training to facilitate more nasal breathing.
Yeah.
You should share that. Yeah.
Our trainer in college would make us just put water in our mouth, like fill your mouth with water, and then we'd run. And we'd do like a mile or two.
Yeah.
And, at the time we all hated it. We're like, oh God. But like, it was beneficial, man. Like you would have better output when it came to stamina.
Huh. Would you just ever like swallow it like while you're like running the mile?
He would make you at the end, he would make us all line up and spit it out to prove that we did it, or else we'd have to keep running. It was like a torture thing, man, almost on this guy.
Oh.
But no, I can see why we did it. It was good. And I've always had like probably a deviated septum. I've, struggled with breathing through one side. So getting as much as I can with the nasal breathing is just beneficial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably, that's my favorite one ever. So
nice. Good stuff, man.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Heck yeah. Well, yeah, let's, we'll wrap this up, and I think this would be a cool episode that we can even like show to some of your classmates, or even like have for people interested in this type of thing. And we'll encourage listeners to also like submit questions, right? If this jogged any type of question for you, like, oh, how can I improve deep sleep without having to purchase something, right? Like how can there's frees, right? You don't have to buy anything. There's hacks you can do all day long that are just completely free. You just have to do them. And so I'm also like, this is maybe advice for providers, is like, you got to be firm with patients too, because people are going to want to like weasel out and not do this stuff. But it's like, at the end of the day, like your goals only come from doing the work. And so at the end of the day, like to improve your sleep, to improve your health, you have to do stuff. You have to take action, but it buys you more capacity on the back end.
Yeah.
So it's always easier to start now and fix a problem now.
All right.
All right, you heard it there. Dr. Carter West, Dr. Alfred Alessi from Health Decoded. Have a great day.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you for tuning in to Health Decoded, where we break down the truth about all things health and empower you to take charge of your well-being. If you found value in today's episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. For more resources and personalized support, visit us at alessifunctionalhealth.com and sign up for our newsletter. To hear your questions answered live on the show, send them to ask@alessifxhealth.com. That's ask@alessifxhealth.com. Until next time, stay curious, stay empowered, and remember, your health is in your hands.